Super Bowl 48 was a completely rigged, completely scripted Super Bowl for the joke so-called 12th man, which is a huge, big, scripted marketing ploy that was popular with this Seattle Seahawks bandwagon that started around 2011 to 2012 and continued on throughout the 2013 season. It was just really popular to be a member of the 12th man and whatnot, that you had this historic Legion of Boom defense that there's no way Peyton Manning was going to win the Super Bowl because you had to market and advertise the Legion of Boom as the greatest defense ever. And that joke safety by Peyton Manning was a completely scripted play 12 seconds into that Super Bowl because, the crowd made it too loud for Peyton Manning to hear. It was the 12th man. It was the 12th fans that were doing this. It was a big, rigged, scripted joke. 12 seconds into the Super Bowl, and 12 seconds into the third quarter, the Seattle Seahawks score points. 12 seconds in to the Super Bowl, and 12 seconds into the third quarter, the Seahawks score. And it's completely scripted by the numbers as it is. It is all a big, giant joke. It truly is. This scripted Super Bowl over at East Rutherford, New Jersey, the home of the New York Giants and the New York Jets. Here's how it was scripted. Pete Carroll used to coach at East Rutherford, New Jersey. Pete Carroll's NFL coaching career began with the New York Jets. In 1994, he coached over at East Rutherford, New Jersey. He won his Super Bowl over at East Rutherford, New Jersey. Now, this was a new stadium that the Giants and the Jets had, but nonetheless, he still won the Super Bowl over at East Rutherford, where his head coaching career began. In the amount of time from 2014 to 1994, that's 19, that's 20 years later. It's Seattle that has a gematria of 19. 19 years later from that time, Pete Carroll would go on this Super Bowl run to win that scripted Super Bowl at his stadium. MetLife Stadium was also the home of the brother of Peyton Manning, which is Eli Manning, because the New York Giants played at East Rutherford, New Jersey. Peyton Manning was playing in the stadium of his brother, but unlike his brother, who won his second Super Bowl over at Peyton Manning's house in Indianapolis, Peyton was not going to win this Super Bowl over at Eli's house. The opposite outcome was going to happen for that Super Bowl. This Super Bowl was scripted for Malcolm Smith, the Legion of Boom linebacker, to be the hero who caught the scripted pick six, the tipped pass that went for a touchdown right before the half. He returns it 69 yards for the touchdown. He was a scripted MVP of Super Bowl 48, which is interesting. Because number one, the Legion of Boom, the 12th man, the big marketing ploys that really gave the NFL this big bandwagon fan base that rooted for Russell Wilson, the Legion of Boom, it's all the Illuminati at work. It's all to create a little tiny fan base and to make them a big marketing ploy practically for fans all across the NFL to be nice, cool, trendy, and hippie and hipster by rooting for the team with the 12th man. This is what the Illuminati wanted. It was all about to make these guys money. In Super Bowl 48, it was Malcolm Smith that was the showcased hero of the marketed and advertised Legion of Boom defense. Malcolm Smith has gematria 48, the MVP of Super Bowl 48. It is Illuminati that also equals the under 20 and 48 in Super Bowl 48. It is the Seahawks that equals the under 20 and 39. The Super Bowl was held at the New York area. It is New York that equals 39. New York is the 11th ratified state in the Union. The initials for Legion of Boom equal 11 in gematria. The Seattle Seahawks in that scripted Super Bowl. In that scripted Super Bowl, there was a total of 43 points scored in the game. That was a big scripted joke. It's champions that has gematria 43. New Jersey, where the Super Bowl was played. It is New Jersey. It is Seattle Seahawks. And it is Richard Sherman. Richard has gematria 43. The Seattle Seahawks scored 43 points over at that scripted Super Bowl in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Now, going back to the joke safety that Peyton Manning was being a complete actor. Oh, he walks up to the line. When he walks up to the line, that was a signal to snap the ball over his head. It was a big acting job. Oh, the crowd and the Legion of Boom had to do that. It was all a big scripted joke. East Rutherford, New Jersey equals 76. The first scoring play of the game was a safety. A safety caused by the snap of Manny Ramirez, the center, over Peyton Manning's head. Manny equals 22. Safety equals 22. The Seahawks won the game 43-8, 51 total points. It's historic D. It is a conspiracy for Peyton Manning to throw the game to market and advertise a Legion of Boom. That equals 51, and it is Super Bowl 48, and it is Masonry that equals 33. The Freemasons were rigging the Super Bowl for the Seattle Seahawks in the NFL season that occurred during 2013. 2013 is a 33 year. It's Super Bowl 48 that equals the gematria value of Masonry. It is the Seattle Seahawks Pythagorean gematria that equals the gematria value of Freemasonry. This is exactly why the Seattle Seahawks won the Super Bowl in the year 13. As a matter of fact, the Seattle Seahawks Stadium opened in 2002. You know, this stadium designed to make it appear to appear like the crowd is being noisier than normal. It's a stadium design. No set of fans in the league are louder than the other. That's complete nonsense. The crowd noise has everything to do with noise being trapped in. It had to do with the architecture of the Seahawks Stadium. It's not the fans that were making the noise. It's a big scripted marketing joke. It is what it is. 2002, so that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So in the Seahawks scripted 12th season, in their new stadium, they won the Super Bowl thanks to the 12th man. It was all scripted. Check this out. Percy Harvin with this kickoff return for the touchdown to begin the third quarter, 12 seconds into the third quarter. Another scripted joke. It was 29-0. 87 yards, Percy Harvin returns it for the touchdown. It's Seahawks that has gematria of 24. So going up here. He returns it 87 yards. It's Seahawks that equals 87 and 24. It's NJ. It's New Jersey that equals 24. This is why the Seahawks won that Super Bowl over at New Jersey. Now, going back to the MVP. Malcolm Smith, the MVP. It is Malcolm that has gematria of 24 and 69. Malcolm Smith returned the touchdown, 69 yards, that interception, that pick six, that went for 6 points. Interception returned 69 yards by Malcolm Smith. It is Malcolm that equals 69 and 24. Also the same gematria of New Jersey. This is why he was the scripted Super Bowl MVP. And it's Smith that has the same gematria of 69 and 24. A big rigged scripted play, completely rigged and completely scripted. It was a completely rigged scripted touchdown by Malcolm Smith. The Seattle Seahawks scored the first 36 points of the game. It was 36-0 before Peyton Manning scores a touchdown. It was 36-0 Seahawks. In gematria, it's Manning that equals 36. The Seahawks scored the first 36 points against the guy who was throwing the game for the Seattle Seahawks. Going back to Freemasonry, it's the members of the Legion of Boom, Richard Sherman, Earl Thomas III. the guy who returned it for the kickoff for the touchdown. Percy Harvin equals under 39. Richard Sherman equals the gematria of East Rutherford, New Jersey. That was completely scripted as well. Super Bowl 48, the former coach of the Jets at East Rutherford, Pete Carroll, Camp Chancellor, member of the Legion of Boom. The Super Bowl, as a matter of fact, was played on February the 1st. February the 1st was the 32nd day of the year. Now, the Super Bowl was on February the 2nd. I should correct myself. The Super Bowl was played on February the 2nd. That was the 33rd day of the year. It was 32 prior days in the year. 32 prior days. It's Denver. It's Broncos. It's Peyton. That equals 32. What happened to the team in orange on the 33rd day? They choked. Chokers in orange. This is why the Broncos suck in Super Bowls in orange. You understand? Collapsed. Collapsed equals 87. Seahawks equals 87. You understand? It's all part of the script. Peyton Manning threw it. The Broncos weren't even trying. It's BS. The Seahawks won by 6 points at home against the Broncos. You're telling me they were deliberately trying their hardest this game? You don't know a rigged game when you see it. It's the 12th man. It's winner that equals 38. This was the Seahawks' 38th season in the NFL. It's 12th man. That was all about the scripted storylines for that game. They win the Super Bowl after the year 12, in the year 13. It is all part of the script. Dominate. Seahawks dominated that game. Dominate equals 36. Manning equals 36. They scored the first 36 points in the game. The Seattle Seahawks, MetLife Stadium equals 58. This was the Broncos' 54th season. They threw the Super Bowl in their 44th season in the NFL. 44. It's champions that they were trying to be. It's heartbreak that equals 44. In their 44th season, the Broncos suffered heartbreak. It was all a big joke again. He's Peyton Manning. He doesn't deliberately throw championships like this. Peyton Manning's all about being for business in the NFL and giving the league what it wants. This is real talk, man. Peyton Manning threw that red joke pick six against the New Orleans Saints in that Super Bowl so they could win after Katrina. There's no way Peyton Manning does that. This guy is a professional actor. He really is. It wasn't Peyton Manning that won the Super Bowl in the Broncos' 54th season. It was Russell Wilson instead. Peyton Manning was marked. He was the guy who was going to throw the game to give the NFL what it wanted for its biggest bandwagon fan base. And then they were going to reward the Seahawks with the Super Bowl down the road. It's Super Bowl 48 in Roman numerals. It's dominate, that's 81. In fact, the simple gematria of 216, that's the 666. That's the number of the beast. This is how you know everyone thought Peyton Manning was winning. Everyone thought that Peyton Manning was never going to win after this again. And then when Peyton Manning's body was broken down, that's when they had that so-called improbable Super Bowl run against Carolina Panthers that we already covered before in the prior video. So in a nutshell, it was all scripted to market and advertise the Legion of Boom as the greatest defense ever in NFL history. They were going to be the defending champions in their 39th season in the NFL for the Seahawks over at the New York area. Peyton Manning plays in the Super Bowl over at his brother's stadium. Pete Carroll began his coaching career at East Rutherford, New Jersey. He wins the Super Bowl. I tell you, man, it was a big scripted joke. The 12th man had to make it all noisy for Peyton Manning. You're telling me that a professional footballer like that would allow him to snap the ball over his head? It's all supposed to be a big joke. It's supposed to be a big fugazi. But this Super Bowl was completely scripted, and the NFL returned the favor to Peyton Manning for Super Bowl 50.